Perfect. We are live. For all of you guys who are tuning in, this is the Fundamental Friday, Fundamentally Sound podcast featuring your host, Nicholas White. And we have a special guest today, Coach Kenny Plummer. Coach K, you want to give a quick introduction for yourself?
Yeah, first of all, Nick, appreciate you giving me this opportunity, man, to come on and help build your platform. Like Nick said, coaching. Been coaching basketball primarily, probably for about 13 years. I've coached everything from 5, 6, all the way up until adults. Currently, I'm coaching with AAU with the Warner Robins All Stars 7th grade team. So excited. Hopefully, maybe we can get some tournaments in this year. I don't know what that looks like. First of all, I mean, our biggest priority is the safety of the kids, but maybe we can get some ball in. If not, we'll figure it out and gear up for next year.
For sure, Coach, for sure. So, as far as the Warner Robins All Stars, how was y'all season looking before the pandemic actually happened?
So I think we was fired up, man. We added a couple more teams, age groups. So we had a 4th and a 5th grade age group being added. So it was going to give us a total of uh, 7 teams that we were going to have
Okay.
all throughout the age groups. So I think we were fired up. We were able to, the 7th grade team and the 8th grade team was able to get a couple tournaments in January and February. So
Okay.
just trying to keep the ball rolling. But the organization is doing well, man. It's growing. We're able to get guys scholarships, right, from playing travel ball along with playing school ball. We had a good amount of kids. I want to say 5 kids. Our seniors
Okay.
that played in the organization actually got
Wow.
scholarships and be playing at the next level. We had a couple kids that were
Wow.
JUCO, so they finished up their JUCO year this year, and they're going to a 4-year college to continue playing. So, yeah, got a good
Wow.
group of kids. Organization is going. We got good direction from our program director. So just out here trying to get it, man.
For sure, for sure. That's dope, Coach. A little background on me and Coach here. We started what I think my seventh grade year. He was actually coaching my little brother Dante, and then me and Dante were able to get on the same team.
Yeah,
And my coach at the time was my dad, and between him and my dad, I mean, we formed this. We had a super team without a doubt.
yeah,
We had a
yeah.
super team.
So
So Coach,
Nick, I was thinking about that, man. That's uh 2010.
that is crazy. That's crazy. That's a long time ago. It felt like it was yesterday, but that's a long
Right.
time
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah. Who you telling, man?
Yeah, yeah. But all right, Coach, let's go ahead and dive into it. So,
Okay.
the first topic for today is going to be start, bench, cut. I already gave you the outline for today, but
Right.
pretty much you got Patrick Ewing, Carl Malone, and Big Zoe, Lonzo Mourning. So, who you got? Who you got starting, bench, and cut?
So starting, I got to go with Carl Malone. Uh, I think he's the second all time leading scorer in the NBA. Was a big piece of what their team was built on and built around. So and let me say this: when we're making these picks or giving my suggestions or ideas, we don't know what these guys were like in the locker room as far as that team chemistry, right? So all we can kind of go off of is
Right.
what their career told us by points, rebounds, all of their stats. So Carl Malone automatically got to start him, right? Secondly, I had to kind of dig for this one, right? So I'm a New
Yeah.
York
What's
Knicks
up?
fan, right? But
Yeah,
this
I
decision
know.
wasn't
I know.
made. This decision wasn't made just based on me being a New York Knicks fan. But I'm gonna have to put Patrick Ewing on the bench, and I'm gonna have to cut Zoe. All right, and kind of I wrote down some stats, and kind of my reasoning for that is, Zoe was a beast on defense, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, right? Career numbers: 17 points, nine rebounds, career numbers, right? Um,
Right.
won a chip, right? So that's one thing that he does have over Ewing and Carl Malone. But just the fact of Patrick Ewing was still a centerpiece, right? They brought Ewing in for a specific reason. His career numbers, 21-10. Right. So yeah, Zoe gonna give you the defense, and I know you need defense to win championships. I'm all for it. I 100% agree. And I know hopefully this don't cause too much uproar, but I think you can find an Alonzo Mourning, a big guy to put in there to get rebounds and bang and play physical. I think you got a better chance of finding Alonzo Mourning versus what Patrick Ewing brought to the table. So that's my picks.
So what you're saying is Alonzo Mourning is replaceable. Patrick Ewing isn't.
Alonzo Mourning is more replaceable than a Patrick Ewing. And we got to look at the time of when they played, right? So that was still a big man game, right? Offensive set. Because Ewing can go both sides. He can play defense and he can give you the offense. Zoe can step out and hit a jumper, but mainly he was going to bang inside and get a rebound and dunk. Right. So again, if I got to go based on error, right, and all of those things that during that time and how that game was played, I got to go in that order.
I respect it. I definitely respect it. Looking at the list, in my opinion, I had it in the same order. For obviously the reason that you stated, but I mean, we talk about Karl Malone. I think he was. When I look back at The Last Dance, it definitely opened my eyes about this. I think he was the only opponent of Jordan in which, I mean, he was putting up stats like 30 and 10 easy.
Yeah.
I mean, they had Dennis on him, but there's only so much Dennis could do.
Right.
And he was scoring at will. And then when we talk about Patrick Ewing, you talk about a centerpiece. I mean, if Jordan's not in the way, you're looking at 2 rings for him at least.
Right.
At least.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I definitely got to agree with you. That's a hard one because Alonzo is, like you said, he's a beast on defense.
Oh yeah.
Like you said, he can step out here and a mid-range jumper. But I definitely have to agree with you. I'm starting Karl Malone, benching Patrick Ewing. I'm cutting Alonzo.
Right. Just one more pick too. I mean, thought here, Nick.
Yeah.
Again, we get to answer this question after their careers ended, right? And then if you look at the medical piece with Alonzo as well. That kind of shortened his career and had some effect on his career as well. So that would be just another reason why I would go stick with that order.
For sure. Longevity. Okay. I like it. I definitely like it a lot. All right. So the next topic or subject we're going to go into is Pick'em. So the one that I gave you first in the outline is we're doing the 98 Bulls versus the 2018 Warriors with Kevin Durant. So I ask you, who's winning and why?
So, of course, right? So we've looked at The Last Dance, and I know we're going to get into that a little later, but I got to go with the 98 Bulls, right? Okay. Just off the top of it. But then you have to always ask this question. It always comes up. What era are we playing in as far as what rule set we playing with?
Right.
Are we playing physical? Are we playing the way that they play today? So I think that has a lot to do with it as well. If you can't touch them, if you can't really get up in them, if it's a possibility that a flagrant foul is going to be called or something along those lines, then maybe the Warriors have an edge. But ultimately, the 98 Bulls, I'm going with them.
Okay. I mean, we have our first disagreement. I'm going with the Warriors. The reason being is because I don't think anybody on that team is slowing KD down. Now, to your point though, nobody's stopping Jordan. But we got to remember that they have 2 MVPs, KD and Steph. I don't think. I mean, if you want to put Jordan on Curry, yeah, that's fine and all. And if you want to put Pippen on KD, yeah, that's fine and all. I just think the system in which they played in, it would tear up the Bulls. Because in the documentary, it talked about, I want to say it was Game 5 against the Jazz. The Jazz only put up 54 points. 54 points in the whole game. Now, that's a testament to the defense of the Bulls, but at the same time, that's a whole different team we're talking about when we're talking about the Jazz versus the Warriors or any other opponent that the Bulls played. This is a whole new system. I mean, we're talking about guys that can shoot the ball from 30 feet. We're talking about guys that can shoot off the dribble, off a screen, coming off whatever. I just think the Bulls wouldn't be able to handle that firepower.
Right, but again, what rule set we playing with?
That is true. And that's what I was about to get into. So if you're, to your point, you're saying that if we're playing in today's generation, which is okay, you can't touch them. If you sneeze on a guy, it's a foul. You're taking the Bulls still.
Yeah, I'm still going to take the Bulls. I'm still going to take the Bulls because, it's the Bulls. I still got the Bulls doing that because I think we still match up well with the Warriors, right? So you look at the Warriors, big 3 or 4, and you look at what Chicago would bring to that game. And then everybody's prime. I'm still going with that.
Yep. Okay. Respectable. I like it. Hey, our first disagreement, but hey, we got some good points there. Right. All right. So the next pick'em. This one's tough, and I think we might disagree on this one too, but I could be wrong. Who is a bigger offensive threat, Devin Booker or Klay Thompson?
So on this one, again, so you tried to sneak this one in on me, but I still was able to do a little bit of homework on it. I'm gonna go with D Book.
Okay.
And my reasoning for that is because Klay, the team that he's playing on and has played on primarily, he's been able to. Somebody else was getting double teamed, especially when KD was there. Right? So the Warriors have more firepower. So that gives him an advantage to maybe, not hide, because he definitely can't hide because he is still a great player. Mm-hmm. But it singles him up because they're worrying about. So him being the third option is a perfect fit for him in that regards. And then with Booker, Booker got to do more. He has to do more. All right. So again, pull some more numbers. Career field goal percentage. Klay right now is 47%. Booker's 45%. But Booker's points per game for a career, 22 points to Klay's 19 points. And again, Booker got some young pieces. Yeah. He got some young guys that's going to be on the come up. All right. But right now, he has to use his creativity. If that team has a chance of winning anything, every night they step on the floor, he has to figure out his creativity to get buckets and to still get his teammates involved.
That's true. That's a good point. I think I'm come to an agreement with you. I think D Book has a lot more, if you want to get into, I guess, street terms or basketball terms. He has a lot more in his bag. I think he can obviously dribble a little bit better. He's a better ball handler. He can come off a screen and, create a shot for himself. But I think at the same time, it's like you talked about, with Klay, we've never seen Klay by himself. He's always had all the defensive attention on Steph and KD. So he's been open because all the defenses have to crash or collapse on the other two. With D Book, he's been by himself for 4 years. And I mean, he put up 70 points in the game, coach.
Yeah.
70. I don't care if he shot the ball 30, 40 times. He put up 70 points on an NBA team against an NBA defense. So, I mean, when you talk about a bigger offensive threat.
As a younger guy.
As a younger guy. I want to say that was his second year. I want to say that second or third year in the league. So, I mean, when we talk about a bigger offensive threat, I definitely have to agree with you on D Book. Now, let me ask you something. If you're building a team, who do you want? Now, mind you, you're building a team around this person. I'll
probably still go with Booker.
Okay.
Again, not to take anything from Klay. Klay's a great defender as well, right? He's going to guard the toughest guy, perimeter guy on the other team when they play, right? So you got to give him his props on that. But then I guess I have to go with the youth, right, of Booker, and then the potential upside.
For sure.
Right, and again, that's no knock on Klay. Klay's a hell of a player. It's just a matter of I think I would have to go with D Book just for those reasons.
Okay, I think Klay is a system player. I think if you had another offensive threat on the team, I think surrounding him with Klay would be a good idea. But I think if you starting a franchise off, I think D Book's the right. I think the D Book's the right one.
Right. So I guess we're saying that Klay's not a franchise guy. a one. Clay's not can't be the one. He needs help.
That's tough, and it's like because if you think about it, he didn't get an all NBA selection a couple years ago, and he missed out on a Supermax contract because of it. So
Right.
do you think if he makes an all NBA team, gets a Supermax, and he leaves Golden State, you don't think he could be a number one guy for a franchise?
No, I think they will put him with pieces. Like he could go to and you know I know this wouldn't happen, but he can go to a Cleveland or something along those lines. He's gonna get his numbers, right? And that very well may be why Devin Booker is getting his numbers right now because he has the green light.
Right.
But I think in order for that team to be successful, he's gonna have to have well, everybody needs help, but I don't know if I think he's a number 2 versus a number 1.
I can see that. I mean, we've never seen it. Like I said, we've never seen him by himself on that Warriors team. I don't think we ever will. But I think it's something that you can definitely give them some thought for.
Right.
All right. Moving on to, well, before we get into the news, I'm going to ask for your opinion on something. You don't, obviously, isn't a stressful question. The Last Dance. What's your opinion on it? Give me a rating out of 10. Did you like it? Do you think it was mediocre? Give me your thoughts.
No, I would give it a 10 out of 10, man. I loved it. Just from being a basketball head, right? Basketball old head, so to speak, and to see these Bulls when they were actually playing and going through this, right? But I think just from the standpoint, I like the behind the scenes stuff. That's kind of what did it for me, right? Now, of course, after it's come out, there's been debate whether if it really went down this way with Jordan saying all this type of stuff. Yeah. I mean, you know, I'm sure some stuff was made for TV, right? But at the end of the day, overall, and I think it hit at a perfect time where there is no sports or anything going on right now. So you were really locking in to see what was going on. So I don't think it disappointed at all.
For sure. We got a comment from Charles Gillespie.
Charles Gillespie, yeah.
He says that Klay Thompson, this is referring back, he says that Klay Thompson in the same category as Scottie Pippen. He's a great co-player. Do you agree with that statement, Coach?
I do. Yep, 100%.
Okay.
Yep.
I think I have to too. I think so too. All right. So staying on the Last Dance topic, Coach. Scottie Pippen recently came out, and there was reports, I don't know if this is true or not, but he came out and said that he was unhappy about The Last Dance. He said that the image that portrayed of him was a bad one. He didn't agree with half of the things that was being said about him. I mean, what's your take on that? Because I have my opinion, and it's basically that this all happened as a fact. Like, there was no lying that happened in this documentary when it came to Scottie. He did the actions. All of it was factual. All of it was true. What are you upset about? You feel me?
Yes, right. So again, if you know me, you know I'm a Scottie Pippen guy.
Right.
I'm probably more Scottie Pippen than I am Jordan. And maybe that was because when I was coming up and I was playing, I envisioned myself more of a Scottie role than a Jordan role. Right. So from everything from having the sneaks to that's my number to getting a number cut in my hair when I had more hair. Right. So all of those things. Now, was it some scenes in there or some things, some footage that was bad looks for Scottie? 100%. But I think Scottie talked through him as well. So so I guess I would have to say, I don't know what his beef would necessarily be about unless, you know, again, we're not behind the scenes. Maybe he expanded more on the conversation and they cut some of that footage and only put up certain pieces of the footage. If that's the case, then yeah, I'm with him. That's a foul. But as far as him not going in the game, he said, I'll do it again. So he stood on his belief.
And I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. He said that I regret my decision, but if I were to go back, I'd do the same thing over again.
Right. So
why do you think he did that? Why do you think he said that?
As far as he would do the same thing over again?
Right.
Because I think he truly believed in that moment when he decided not to go into that game. Whatever was in him at that time, he's still standing on that. So you got to respect him for his honesty.
Yeah, no, for sure. He kept it real. That's all you could ask him. Really, that's
Right.
it.
Yeah. Yeah. And even with the
That's it.
surgery, because he was having contracts issues and he wasn't, making the money that he think he should have been making, which I agree. He should have been getting paid a lot more. And, the
A
contract
lot
was the
more.
contract. So, those are all nuggets that people can take away from it as far as future players, making sure you get your paperwork and everything right going into situations. But again,
Right.
he said it out of his own mouth. I got my knee surgery done, kind of to stick it back to the Bulls because he felt he wasn't being taken care of.
Right. I mean, he did it. Because they talked about it. They said he could have had that surgery in the summer, been ready to go start of the season. But he said,
Right.
"Nah, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait it out."
So I'm curious to see if he comes back with anything, or if he actually makes a statement versus sources making statements
Sources
for him.
saying, yeah, reporting. Okay, interesting. My dad commented. He said, "Scotty dunking on Patrick Ewing, best disrespectful dunk ever."
Yeah, and and what did he tell Spike Lee after that?
So sit down. Sit down.
Yeah, that was
the worst part about it. He said, "Sit down, sit down." Oh man. Oh man, that's a good one. Okay, the last thing I got on the Last Dance, coach, is there Brian Windhorst. I think you know who he's an ESPN analyst. He reports on LeBron a lot. He stated that
LeBron made his career.
He literally created this man's career. He stated that basically this Michael Jordan doc got the green light from MJ because apparently there was a possible threat to the throne. Do you believe in that statement, or do you think it's idiotic?
I think it's idiotic because I don't know. So what does this doc do then? Is this for younger people to see? So they, since it seems like the younger generation kind of goes with LeBron, is he saying that they went ahead and pushed this out now so the younger generation could see what Jordan was?
I mean, that's essentially what I thought about it, because if you think about it, from people in your generation in your time that actually got to see Jordan live and in person or whatever,
right?
A lot of this stuff wasn't new to you guys. A lot of this stuff is repeated history. A lot of this stuff is, okay, we knew this. What else? And then that's when they got into the behind the scenes thing. And I think when Bron came back 3-1, I wouldn't say there was a threat to the throne, but I think a lot of people were like, okay, wait a minute, this could be the greatest of all time right here that we're witnessing. So,
yeah, I don't buy into that. Right, I don't buy into that. I mean, but that if that is the case, that's probably for Jordan, that's a good chess move. To stay relevant.
Sure.
But I think Jordan is already relevant in that sense of his shoes alone, right?
Yep.
So he repeatedly puts out the same shoes, and every time he puts it out, he raises the prices, and they still sell out.
Yep.
Right. So
all the time, people still
from that aspect. But then and I guess if I played both sides, and I would say maybe it was put out for that reason, because as we learned watching that documentary, Jordan looked for anything to give an edge.
Oh yeah.
Anything. And I thought that was amazing to see. He found the smallest thing and decided that's what he was going to go off on. So, yeah, I honestly, man, I don't know. I'm glad that he gave the okay to put it out because I enjoyed it as well as I think a lot of other people enjoyed it. But who knows, man? Who knows?
I mean, you talk about
it's like he held it, right? So they had all this footage since what, 98? And just decided to put it out now. So what was I don't know.
I mean, I know I was grateful to have it because I mean we're in a time now in which we miss sports. We just wanted something to see. So I know we were all grateful for it.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, I'm glad we got your thoughts on the Last Dance. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed it too. I definitely gave it a high rating, probably a 9 out of 10. But getting into the news, before we get into the news, Dante commented. He said, we got to remember that this was really an MJ doc. So Scotty was a side character the entire time. Good point. Very good point. And he also said that he felt that the documentary was for the younger generation. It changed their whole outlook on Jordan.
Right.
So good points, Dante. Good points. All right, Coach.
Hey, it looked like it looked like something else popped up.
Oh, there you go. Yep. Hey, Hey Brooks, Devin Booker can create off the dribble. Clay has a hard time creating his own shot besides catch and shooting. He's not lying. He's not lying. I mean, Clay took what 11 dribbles, coach, and got what? I think he had 48 or something like that, and only took 11 dribbles. So
Right, yeah, something crazy like that. So
yep.
yeah, so shout out to Coach Tack for that for that
Comment.
note.
Shout out to you, coach. Shout out to you.
Basketball head.
Shout out to you, coach. All right, getting into some news, coach. Getting into some news. So recently, put it up on the screen there. Recently, we heard that the NBA could possibly return June 21st. We don't know if this is true or not. Obviously, this is just a rumor. Also, we've heard that Vegas and Disney World are the lead front runners for the return, meaning the West teams will return to Vegas, the East teams will return to Disney World. Also, what we've been hearing is that the first 7 teams of each conference are locked in. The 8th through 15th seeds, they would play in a 1-game, single elimination game tournament, fighting for that 8 seed. What are your thoughts on the NBA returning? What are your thoughts on this new tournament? Is it too early to return? What do you think?
So I hope the NBA returns, right? So that's his selfish kidding with that thought.
Right.
Just because, again, being trying to be a student of the game, watching it, sitting my boys down, right, rewinding the TV off of just certain moves, just showing them, hey, this is what we was working on, or whatever the case may be. Trying to build my IQ to help build the young guys that we're coaching, right? So for all of those reasons, of course, I hope the NBA returns. Now, I hope it returns in a safe capacity. Of course, we don't want to see anybody get sick or from this crazy disease or anything like that. So my thought is, I want the NBA to come back as soon as it's safe and possible for it to come back. Now, as far as Vegas and Orlando, I think that's a genius idea as well. So from what I understand, they're going to bring everybody in, and then they will kind of be, confined to the hotels or whatever the case may be, to bring those folks in, and with the testing and all that good stuff. Those 2 locations are perfect, right? Because they can accommodate bringing those teams in, because it's full of hotels in Vegas, it's full of hotels down in Orlando. They have the facilities as far as basketball wise, to make things happen. Now I'm not sure do you know if they were planning on playing in different arenas within those cities? Because I know in Vegas, they got UNLV, they got the MGM Grand, they got 3 or 4 facilities that they could possibly hold games in, like they do for the summer league. So you're looking at that aspect as well. So thumbs up to the NBA if they're able to pull that off.
For sure. And then what do you think about the 1-game single elimination tournament if the 8 through 15 seeds will have to battle it out? Do you like that idea, or do you think that we should just go 1 through 8 right now, go into the playoffs? Because if you look at it in the West, I mean, I think there are 3 teams that are battling out for that 8 seed. You got Memphis, Portland, San Antonio, New Orleans, I think. But then you got teams like the Warriors who got Clay coming back.
Yeah, Nick, let me just stop you right there. If Portland is one of those 8 to get in, then I'm saying let's do that because of my man Melo. So Melo deserves an opportunity to get in the playoffs. So whatever opportunity is going to get Melo a chance to get in, that's the route I want to go with.
Even if that means they got to play Braun in the first round.
Hey, if we're in the playoffs, we're in the playoffs. So if we can get number 8, we'll take it. Right? When you write your resume, it don't say who you had to play. It just say you made the playoffs X amount of years in a row, right?
Yeah, it don't say that you got swept by Braun. It won't say that.
Right. So I don't really have a say one way or the other. I think. I mean, either way.
Yeah.
1 through 7, whoever gets that 8th seed is probably going to be an impossible task for them anyway. So what's going to be the most convenient, without causing issues or injuries, right? So if that's going ahead and saying, okay, 1 through 8, let's go, then I'm all good with that. I think it's going to be competitive, right? So that's that competitive edge, like you were speaking on, bringing guys back that's been hurt. Now that gives a different look. So maybe some of them top teams on each side, maybe they wouldn't be happy about that if you're looking at bringing these hurt guys back, and now that's a threat to them. But yeah, I either way, it would be good with me, man. Again, if I can see a ball bouncing on TV and it's live and it's not an old game, I'm all for it.
I'm right there with you. I'm tired of seeing these classic games. I think they've rerun like some of the Lakers finals 3 times already. And I'm ready for something to happen. So
right.
All right. Okay. Moving on to the next portion of news. Football players. I think there's some college football players, even NFL players that are getting arrested during this pandemic. We know that they're bored. We know that they're not with their teams right now. They're back home with family, friends, whatever it may be. What is it? What do you think that's going on with them? Why do you think they're getting in so much trouble recently?
Because they're young. They're young, and typically if they're playing that high, and when I say that high, a high major D1 sport, typically they're a little spoiled, and probably most likely been catered to. Now, is that putting a blanket over all the players playing high major sports? No. So, and it's definitely not an excuse, but I think sometimes they believe they're above the law, right? Because I played for such and such, or we won a national championship, or something along those lines. But it's so I don't use this time as an excuse for behavior like that. We're all bored. We're all not able to do what we're used to doing.
Right.
I'm getting cabin fever being in the house. So, I haven't been back to work. I haven't been at work since the middle of March. So that's working from the house. Yeah. Yep. So I don't think it's an excuse for that. And then at the same time, I guess I can't put it on the program, right? The actual teams. But then, you would hope that the programs would reach out to their guys and make sure and give them things or come up with something to try to make the time go by for them as well, because they are a valuable asset to their team success. Exactly. Once football starts again. So, the old thing, right? So when there's NCAA violations and all that good stuff, the head coach is held responsible. Do I always believe it's the head coach's fault? No. But being in that position, it's your responsibility to make sure that you're reaching out to your guys. So if that's having Zoom calls, again, we're a 7th grade team, man. And we had a Zoom call, right? Just so me and Coach Charles can put eyes on our guys and see what's going on with them. So and not to say that these college coaches aren't doing those things, but maybe just being more in tune with them to help them out.
For sure. I definitely have to agree with you. I mean, it's not even just that they're bored. I just think that they get, especially at the pro level, they get their money or they get that bag, and it's like they kind of throw everything else out the door. Like, hey, I made it. Right. Now I can go do whatever. And I think that has to do with it too, is outside influences, external factors, friends, wrong neighborhoods that you don't need to be in. So I got a comment for you though. Oh, go ahead, keep going.
Well, just one more point I want to make though. I don't want it to portray like it's a large amount or a high percentage of the players. It's the knuckleheads, right? So it's probably the same cats that was getting in trouble the whole time. Yep. And somebody covering up for them or something along those lines. So, we can't label everybody the same way. But if I guarantee if you look back somewhere, you'll probably find something in their history that kind of indicates what happened or what's going on now. Sure. Yeah.
Definitely. So I got some comments here that I want to show you from our live streamer or from our viewers. And the first one, you're not going to like.
Oh. Melo. All you got to do is say Melo. Everybody know who Melo is. Melo don't need a last name.
Coach, let me ask you something. Where is Melo a top 15 player of all time? Now, it's kind of hard to give like 15 players off the rip of your head, but is Melo a top 15 player of all time?
Top 15 all around player? Are we talking a specific side of the ball?
No.
Are we saying all around?
Just all time. I mean, don't even got to be all around. It just all time. Is he a top 15 player? We talking about not accomplishments. We're not talking about accolades. We're talking about just pure basketball. Is he a top 15 player?
Top 15 player out of a class or NBA history?
NBA history.
He's not.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, you know, it pains me to say that, Nick. Is that what you were trying to get at? You wanted me to say that?
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. just a little bit.
There's no way that I can say Melo's a top 15 player.
Yeah, you're not lying. I'm gonna bring in somebody who's gonna help you out, though. I'm gonna bring in somebody who's gonna help you out.
Hey,
so, man, B.
Hey,
this is
talking about
let me hide
Melo.
this comment.
Y'all should have told me that.
Hey, this is my man B, coach. He's a Melo fanatic. But B, what you got for me on Melo, man? Why do people got so much hate for Melo?
Let me tell. This is why. Okay, what James Harden is doing right now in the NBA, Melo was kind of doing that. You know what I mean? Like from the Denver days to the New York days, as far as he's just a pure offensive threat. Like if you want a straight bucket, all you gotta do is give it to Melo. Melo had everything in his arsenal on offense, from the deep ball to the post game. He doing it on point guard, centers.
Right.
Bron, the best defensive
100%.
player. So I can agree though. You know what I mean? Like if we talking top 15, there's way too many great NBA players to put Melo in the top 15 best players of all time. It's tough. Maybe, you know, he might be mid-20s, low 20s for sure. But
so and Melo's my guy, but his defense is what's going to drop him.
Right, which is but that's why I compared him to James Harden in this generation, because back then when it's not like it's super far back, but you know what I mean, the 2012s were like probably from when Melo came to the league to probably 2014, 2015 when the three ball really became like that's what everybody, if you can't shoot a 3-point shot,
right?
You know what I mean, you're a nobody in the league. So from that range, from that span right there, that was defense was more than what it was. You could still hand check when you know what I mean, when you playing defense back then, you can't hand check now.
Right.
So Melo was getting slack. Melo, I mean, they give Harden slack, but they take away Harden's slack, and Melo could and James Harden could get an MVP and he don't gotta play defense
at all.
Right.
At all. That's
Melo,
the type of generation
that's how the game has changed, right?
Right. But you know, if Denver Melo, New York Melo was in the league at this time when he was in his prime, Melo would be getting MVPs too. Like it wouldn't be. I personally think a lot of the NBA players would not be getting like as much love as they do now if some of these players who didn't get the love that they should have. Like I was just reading something. Melo won Rookie of the Month every month his rookie year and didn't win Rookie of the Year.
Right. So
that don't even make
same
sense.
class as Bron. He was in the same class as Bron.
So I think it's one of those things, right? That kind of even came out in that in the Last Dance documentary. Some of these cats will have championships if it wasn't for Jordan, right? So you got to kind of look at LeBron in that same sense. Some of these cats may have more accolades, maybe championships, maybe more awards, or whatever the case would be, if it wasn't for LeBron. And the hype that LeBron came in with, you already seen the writing on the wall, so to speak.
All right. Okay. I got one more for y'all. I got one more for y'all. Paul Pierce or Melo? Unbiased opinion. Paul Pierce or Melo? Paul Pierce has a ring. Now you could talk about how that wasn't an earned ring because he had KG and Ray and all that and the Big Four, whatever. But Paul Pierce or Melo?
Look, I ain't going against Melo no more, especially to Paul Pierce.
Yeah, definitely not Paul Pierce. That's not even me being biased. If you look at both of them, that's similar play style. You know what I mean? They both back to the basket, fading scores. Right. You know what I mean? They both got the deep ball. Melo was a better 3-point shooter than Paul Pierce, for sure.
Yeah.
You talk about a ring. Paul Pierce don't got no gold medal.
Yeah, he was never on the Olympic team.
Never got selected for an Olympic team.
That is true. That is true.
So-
and yet he's still out here talking crazy.
And Melo was way more athletic than Paul Pierce too.
That is true.
Way more.
That is true.
Melo,
That is true.
Melo
All
offensively. Yeah, I don't like talking about Melo.
Yeah,
man,
I'm about to say,
that's
listen.
my guy. I can't
I
even
know
do
it
Melo dirty. I couldn't. You wouldn't hear nothing other than defense, and I still think that's questionable because Melo was playing in a hand checking error, so
Right.
he had to play some. I know y'all. Even when we was looking at the conference, Melo took the Nuggets to the conference finals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had to go against Kobe.
did.
If it wasn't for Kobe, same way you like if we say if it wasn't for Jordan, if it wasn't for Bron, if it wasn't for Kobe,
Kobe, he'd be in the finals.
he'd be in the yeah. And then it's really like then you gotta show Melo love.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Right.
Melo was a bad boy. So Melo became my guy at Syracuse when he won us a championship.
Yep.
So
All by
so
himself.
again, so in my eyes, he could do no wrong. And then you look at the guys that came after him, Jabari Parker, kind of had a similar game, right? So he influenced as well. So he influenced guys as well. So he left his mark on the game of basketball, definitely.
I got to show y'all something.
Paul Pierce, all day better team player.
Oh man, come on, coach.
What is better team player? I mean, when you got one of the best,
Hey,
that's not fair. That's not fair.
Hey,
to do that.
Chauncey Billups did that to Melo, man. Chauncey Billups did that to Melo. Talking about he'll walk in the locker room, and if they win and if they lose and he got 30, he happy. But if they win and he got 15, he mad. We don't know that. We wasn't there.
And even if
I do,
nobody was saying nothing to Jordan when they was, you know what I mean, they would lose and he had 45. He'd probably say the same thing.
Right.
Exactly.
I was the only one dropping 45. Ain't nobody said nothing to me when I had 30.
Last one on the Melo topic before we move on. It's from my dad. It's just a question.
That's not even
Melo versus Harden. Who will win one-on-one? And then we're talking about prime Melo here. So, I mean, you could talk about New York. You talk about Denver. I'm picking Denver Melo. But who will win one-on-one and who will shut the other down?
That's not a question.
One of them's going to have to play defense.
Yeah, I don't think either one of them will shut each other down. Right?
Yeah, that is
I
true.
don't think – and Harden is shifty, right, on the perimeter, where Melo's pretty much foul line down. So it's they both can get buckets, but you know the style of play is different. So
is it make
I would have to
make it take it. No.
If it's not make it take it, then I'm gonna give it to Harden just off the strength that twos is always gonna be worth more than ones. If you playing, you know what I mean, a regular one-on how we play one-on-one, Harden's gonna make more 2-pointers than Melo. You know, if game go to 11, Harden got to make 5, Melo got to make 10. You know what I mean? Yeah. You might shoot one 3 ball. If we play make it, take it, Melo's posting this man up and he's a boy the whole game. That's how I'm looking at it.
That's true.
I wanted to see Melo move to the 4 sooner in his career. Right?
I don't like the fact
because now you're a stretch 4, right? And now you got a 4
guarding you.
And if we talking some years ago, you got a 4 that's got to guard Melo. Now he's gonna win that every time.
I agree. That's why Melo. I ain't gonna lie. This is what I agree with. This is why I believe Chauncey Billups, because Melo took the bag instead of going to Miami. It wasn't supposed to be D Wade, Chris Bosh, and Bron. It was supposed to be Melo, Bron, and Wade in Miami. And Melo took the bag in New York because he wanted the money.
Or what about when Melo was supposed to go to Cleveland?
That was way too late. I think the Cleveland move, I think that would have been too late in Melo's career. He was still at his prime. Yeah, Bron was waxing him every time they played each other in the playoffs, but he was still in his prime when he had a chance to go to Miami. I don't think the Cleveland thing. You see what happened when Wade went to Cleveland. I mean,
well, yeah, and you know what? Honestly, you know, like I said, Melo's my guy, so we made that point, right? We'll write it on the wall in a neon marker. But I think he had to do some adjusting too, right? So mentally, he had to accept the role that he had to take. So, you know, everything works out for a reason. He still wanted to be that guy. And he wasn't. At that point, he became a third option. And he still wanted to be the one option.
Yeah.
Literally. I think Melo wanted the third option in Houston, but the way that they play style is so trash. I'm not a big Houston fan, by the way. I think everything about Houston is garbage. But
I don't like them either. They're overrated to me. All right, B. Well, I appreciate your input. We're gonna get you back in a little bit when we start talking Jordan versus LeBron. So appreciate you.
Melo fan. That's my man right there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. All right, Coach. I guess sort of the last topic we got to get into, or just as a question I got for you. Paul Pierce came out and you saw his top 5, just absolutely ludicrous and idiotic of him to not include LeBron in his. But give me your top 5. Simple. Top 5 of all time.
All times?
All time.
Whatever positions?
Whatever position. Don't matter.
Can I call a friend?
For sure. Who do you want?
Nah. So we gotta go MJ.
Okay. Right.
And it's hard, right? Because it's based on your generations. Right? So we're gonna go with it. So I got MJ. I got Shaq.
At two?
This is in any particular order, right?
Oh, okay. So you're not going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
No. I'm just saying 5.
Okay. After we're gonna rank them though.
Oh man, Nick.
Right. I want you to rank them. Because I was about to say, ooh, man.
All right, so I gotta go. Again, just like the barbershop conversation. So I got you. So we're gonna go MJ, Shaq, Kobe. And let's go let's go
gotta be careful here.
Yeah, I'm not really trying to give it to a lot of guys that's still playing right now, man.
I mean, you can even do it to where like you can say a current player and you just say, okay, by the end of their career, they're gonna be in the top 5.
I gotta go with did I said LeBron, right?
No, not yet.
I didn't?
So you said MJ, Kobe, Shaq.
Oh, MJ, Kobe, Shaq, and LeBron. MJ, okay, so Kobe, Shaq, LeBron, and I didn't say a 5th yet. KD.
You got what? You got KD. Okay, so you got KD over Magic, Kareem, Wilt, Bill Russell. Why show the love to the new guy?
Because I see him, and that has an effect. All right, that's a real live effect. I see him. Now, if we talking about can KD go play in that generation and all of these type of things?
We don't gotta get into that.
So it's hard to come up with a top 5. And then it's based on what your preference is, right? So do I think KD at what 6'11" and has a skill set, has a crazy skill set? Who's guarding KD?
Nobody in this generation, and definitely nobody in any other generation.
Crazy, right? So then you look at a Kobe. I believe Kobe can play in any generation. I believe LeBron can play in any generation. Right? At the end of the day, this cat, LeBron's what, 6'8", 270? 6'9", 270?
Yeah, he's running over anybody, don't matter who.
So I think a more fair question, you would have to do top 5s per generation.
Yeah, I agree. I've said that multiple times because a lot of people argue Bill Russell because 11 beats everybody else's ring count. But in my opinion, he played 10 teams, coach. He played 10 teams, and the next closest person to him as far as his size outside of Wilt was 5'11", 6'1", 6'2".
Right.
Like, we're talking about pure basketball players. I'm taking Kevin Durant. I'm taking Steph Curry. Like, I don't know. That was just my opinion on that. Got some love from your son here. I want to show you.
Oh.
Shout out to that boy. And then we got Coach Charles giving his input. LeBron will be Mount Rushmore when he is done. I think he's already there, Coach. I think he's already there on Mount Rushmore. Another one from Coach Charles says MJ, Kareem, Kobe, Shaq, and Magic. You're missing somebody, Coach.
Lakers +1.
I don't see LeBron. I don't like this. I don't like Coach. I don't like this. I don't like this. You gotta have LeBron in your top 5. I don't care. I don't care if it's because he's not done. He's there. And then we got one from my dad. He has Matt. I saw the last one and I said Hakeem Olajuwon. No. He's top. I argue top 10, but definitely not top 5.
Right.
And then your other son here. Oh man.
Hey, Nick, so they're screaming through the door. Yeah, they're screaming through the door trying to give me pointers.
I got you. They're trying to help you out. So Christian agrees with your list pretty much. I think, this is who you have: MJ, Kobe, KD, LeBron, Shaq. That's a good list. All right, Coach, debate time. I'm going to bring in some heavy hitters. I'm going to bring in some of my guys who are on both sides of this. I'm pretty sure I already know whose side you're on when we're talking about this subject. But we're talking about the GOAT debate.
Oh, okay.
So before I bring them in, though, I'm going to have you speak on it first, okay? I want your opinion on the GOAT. And then let me get your opinion on the GOAT, and then we'll bring in everybody else and we'll get theirs. And we'll just go from there.
So again, like we mentioned earlier, man, this is a tough one, right? You want to give LeBron the love, right? But it depends on what's important to you, right? What matters to you as far as, and then are we talking on the court, off the court? Are we talking just on the court? You know what I mean? So you got to give a lot. It's a lot of different factors that can go into this. If we're talking strictly basketball and the game of basketball, I have to go with Jordan. And my reasoning for that is Jordan changed the game. Right? Jordan, his impact on the game, man, is can't touch it. So everything, and guys were getting it when Jordan was playing because you still had the Pistons, you had all of these guys, right? But Jordan literally changed the game. And in changing the game, he made the game bigger, which gave, these young guys an opportunity to show their skill set for the game to be more global. That's all Jordan. So when you look at it from that standpoint, it's going to be Jordan all day for me.
Okay. Respectable. Definitely respectable. Second part of the question. You're building a team. Who are you building it around? And you got to think about this too. Them in the locker room, then in practice, them with teammates.
Well,
I mean, obviously we knew LeBron's a good teammate.
I don't know if that's a fair question. Jordan, look, I don't know if that's a fair. We're not going to know that until 2050 when the Cleveland or the LeBron documentary comes out, and then we hear how much people say that he was a whatever, right? So because this is fresh in our mind now with Michael Jordan, we're kind of going that way, right? So I mean, I get it. Again, I'm not in that locker room.
Right.
And I hear a lot of guys saying what they would have told Mike or what they would have did to Mike and all these type of things. I hear you talking.
Yeah.
All right, I hear you talking. I don't know if you would have had the guts to go and confront Mike and run up on him and everything that I heard people say. If he would have said this to me, that okay, I got you. But if I'm starting a team right now,
in this generation,
in this generation, it's LeBron.
Even though you got Jordan as the GOAT.
Jordan is the GOAT. Jordan is the greatest of all time. But if I'm starting a team right now, I'm starting with LeBron.
For what
based
reason?
based on style of play, based on the other things that go into it. Again, like we said, LeBron is what 6'9", 6'8", 6'9", 270.
Yep.
Right. So when I say Jordan is the GOAT, that's not taking anything away from LeBron. It's just saying that to me, Jordan is the greatest player of all time because of the effect and the way that he changed the game. And how he inspired so many players after him.
So you don't think LeBron is a game changer? You don't think LeBron basically created this idea of a point forward?
Oh, that's Scottie Pippen.
Scottie Pippen was not a point forward, Coach. If anybody was close to a point forward, it was Magic Johnson.
Magic Johnson was the point guard.
That could play multiple positions. I think Magic was a point forward before anybody. But I think LeBron dominated and showed that, like, I don't know, a 6'8", 250 guy can play the point guard position.
That's Scottie Pippen.
I don't think Scottie was like. I think Scottie. I don't know. You watched him more than I did.
Scottie originated that position. You didn't hear anybody being considered or called a point forward before Scottie Pippen.
Even Magic.
Magic was a point guard. Magic was a point guard.
Okay.
They ain't call Magic point forward.
They call Scottie point forward though. He's the original point forward.
He's the original point forward. And them basketball heads that's been chiming in can chime in and confirm that Scottie Pippen was the original point forward.
Okay. Well, you said it. You called him in. So we're gonna bring in the big hitters, okay? First up, we got my boy Los. Los is my good friend, plays the game with me, and then we got my boy Drew here. So, gentlemen, welcome to the stream.
These look like LeBron
fans. we gonna find out. So, first up, we got Los. Los, what do you think, Jordan or LeBron? Who are you going with?
Okay, as much as we done had this conversation between our own group chat, and as much back and forth as it has been going, I honestly gotta say that I think MJ is the GOAT. Now, I'll say this. I really feel like LeBron had a huge impact in this generation. Of course, he's our generational GOAT. But I think when you think of basketball overall as like a whole, and when you think of the GOAT, like, you just think Mike. Now, I personally like LeBron better than MJ, but I'm not going to, be biased towards that. I'm going to still say that MJ is the GOAT, all in all.
Okay. And if you're starting a franchise, who are you starting with?
LeBron.
In this generation? Okay.
LeBron.
Okay. All right. Let's see if we can get some opposite inputs. Drew, what you got for me?
So it's obviously a hard question to answer when you say GOAT, because you got to say greatest what of all time, right? Are we just like you were saying, are we talking about on the court? Are we talking about overall basketball player, accomplishments, accolades? There's a bunch of things you can kind of go into it. I think my perspective is, are we talking GOAT? I'll put MJ up there, but if we're talking greatest basketball player, just from sheer ability to play the game, I think LeBron was a better player. He can do more. There's a bunch of things that kind of go into that, but I'm kind of split on a lot of things. It just depends on what criteria you're kind of arguing for. Overall, I do like LeBron. If I'm starting a team, I'm starting with LeBron. But Jordan just changed the game a lot. So also LeBron's pavement is not the cement is not paved over yet. So
right.
Yeah, he's not done. That is true. He's not done. Yeah. So, Coach, let me ask you, to Drew's point, can you agree or disagree on the fact that LeBron is a greater basketball player than Jordan?
Greater in the sense of I guess along like that Magic line, able to play more positions, do more on the court? Are we talking in that sense? Or are we talking skill set?
Both.
So LeBron definitely
who had a go ahead.
I think LeBron can honestly defend 1 through 5 without it being a mismatch.
Right.
Right. So in more of a utility player, I would have to go with LeBron on that. Skill wise, again, right? We go based on where we're at now versus where we were. Right. And skills is my 10-year-old is out doing drills and skills. Right. So today's players are just more skilled anyway. You know, you got everybody's a trainer, everybody's doing all of these things. You can go on the internet anywhere and find a drill to do or whatever the case may be. So from that standpoint, I think that's where the game has changed, right? Because back in the day, those cats wasn't really, you know, I'm not saying that they weren't, you know, making their craft better, but just the skill aspect of it, right? And that's where it's become more finesse because of the skill aspect of it. But mentality, Jordan all day. So you telling me that I can't, you know, advance or win this game, then that's Jordan to me. Jordan. So so Jordan has the upper advantage in mentality and will. But Jordan's going to will his team. He's going to put everybody on his back. So I don't know if that necessarily answers the question, and maybe I talked around it because I don't have an answer for it. But that's kind of where I'm at.
In a sense, you kind of answer. You're basically saying LeBron is a better individual basketball player,
right?
But Jordan's going.
Like I said, he can power 1 through 5.
Right, but Jordan, in terms of pure dominance of the game, that's why he is the greatest of all time.
Right.
Okay. Drew, you got anything to add on that?
Jordan went up against some bad boys, man. He went up against the Pistons. He went up against the Knicks. He went up against, Seattle to win those championships at the Lakers. So, you know, you definitely you can't take it away from him as far as I'm gonna get on this court and I'm gonna figure out what I need to do to get right.
Right. Drew, you got anything to add on that?
I mean, yeah, he said a lot of things that were true. I think the one thing I would point out is like to not discredit LeBron because he plays in a better era. Just kind of like how earlier you were saying how like KD, you know, no one can stop him if he played in any era. So does that mean that he is not a greater player because he's in this era? Like in that sense, we almost need to get into the debate of just do players now, should they get a higher pedestal because they are better athletes than playing? Like Bill Russell won 11, but if we're just saying best basketball player, I'm taking Wilt, I'm taking Kareem, I'm taking Shaq, you know, just because he played back then. So it's really hard to compare different eras because, of course, the technology today, you know, Jordan, we saw in the documentary, started working out after he lost the game. Didn't even start, like, he wasn't even working out until he was like, damn, these Pistons are really kind of beating me up.
Right.
So I think that's the hardest thing to compare a player. Do you knock them because they are in this era? Do you give them credit because they technically are bigger, faster, stronger? And that's, I think, what the fun debate is about.
All right.
So I
got another one.
The game is as physical. The game isn't as physical, but the skill set is definitely the skill wise is better.
For sure.
Man.
All right, we're gonna bring in B. Now B he's a LeBron guy, so get ready. You better get ready, coach.
I just had one like what's going on with the game right now. I know coach was talking about how Scottie Pippen was like the first point forward. And it's a lot of things that like you can't change in the game because, you know, Steph Curry was probably the last person that really changed the game since, you know, for real, Michael Jordan, if we really look at it, or you can say AI because of the fact, AI had the sound. I mean, he had the swag thing going on.
Right.
So to say, like LeBron didn't change. I mean, he changed the game. I can agree, as in he didn't change the game with Coach on that point. But we talking the greatest of all time. So we talking like they get on the basketball court and they're gonna do the damn thing. Like, excuse my language, but they gonna get you to win. They gonna get you the assists. They gonna get you the rebounds. They gonna get you the points. Mike was doing some of that, but he wasn't doing all of that. He wasn't breaking everybody record. Bron is top 5 or top 10 in everything. You can't not be the greatest player and not be top 5 or top 10 in every category. Killer instinct, Mike had that. If you need somebody to tell you, to get that last shot, it's a lot of players that can right now in the NBA, and even rest his soul, Kobe Bryant was killer instinct. He wants to take the last shot. Bron killer instinct came from he knows who need to have the ball to take the last shot. So how can you not be the greatest when you telling somebody, look, Kyrie need to have the ball right here because Steph Curry, that's the mismatch. Or I knew Wade was going to be open. I knew this person was going to be open. Jordan had to get punched in the face by Steve Kerr for him to be like, yo, yeah, he allowed to take the last shot for me. I wasn't born, so I don't know what really happened, but from what they told me, that's how I assumed it went down. So I just feel like you can't really it's an argument, but you can't use the ring things to make him, for him to be the GOAT, because there's people that got more rings than Jordan. So you can't be like, oh well, Michael Jordan won more rings. I think the only way you can really judge it is off of statistics and like what other players think. Like even the players that play with, it's obviously it's half and half, but the players that play with Jordan, like nobody is doing what LeBron is doing. I think it's a stretch to say Jordan to come in the league now and average 40. I don't know. Jordan 3-point shot wasn't crazy back then. Do I think he could still average 22, 28, 32 points a game? Of course. But to say like he'd come and average 40 and he the greatest player ever, like you can't be the greatest player ever when it's somebody that's 6'9", 275, jumping out the gym, passing it to everybody, putting people in positions that you would never expect, and still winning and going to the finals 9 years straight. Look who he was taking to. Anderson Varejao ain't seen a playoff since LeBron.
Anderson Varejao?
Like,
yeah.
Zydrunas Ilgauskas wasn't looking at no playoffs. Booby Gibson is on Love and Hip Hop now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, look at these dudes. Look at these cats. Look what Steve Kerr, you know what I mean? Yeah, he was granted good fortune by going to the Spurs right after Chicago, but look at the players. They was good when Mike left. Scottie Pippen was hooping when Mike left.
But, okay, so then just so a point, right? Mike didn't have a killer squad.
He didn't have a killer squad? What'd you say?
I said Mike did not have a killer squad.
What? You don't think so?
Coach. That's tough.
Who
didn't have a killer squad? What do you want to define it as?
Mike had a team full of role players.
Okay. There were some good role players then.
No different than what LeBron had. I wasn't gonna bring it up that I'm gonna go play with my homies in Miami.
I don't think nothing wrong with that.
Nowadays, right? So again, that's part of that mentality. That's part of that mentality that separates the two.
That's my right. That's my generation. But even before Bron Bron went to the, I'm just looking at it as you got kids, so I played AAU ball all my life. I played even before Bron swapped. Don't get me. I played against Nick. I want to go against Nick at all times. I love the competitive nature. But then it's like, if I'm told like, yo, you think me and you together, if I'm dropping 30 without you and you dropping 30 without me, just imagine if we dropping 30 together with teams to look what it'll look like.
No, yeah, I agree.
So
I agree, and I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with it per se, but that's still a factor to me, right? Mike said, "I'm here. This is the city where I'm at. I'm gonna make this squad better. I'm gonna put everybody on my back. I don't have no superstars. Like out of all those teams that played when he played, how many of those other cats on this team was making all-star teams with him?
You don't think Jerry Krause played a role in that though?
Who?
You don't think the GM played a role in that? Jerry Krause, he didn't play a role in that?
No, 100%. He put role players around Mike.
Because I mean.
But the Cavs didn't put role players around LeBron.
Right. The type of role players that for Bron to succeed, the Cavs didn't do that.
And another,
they tried to. I don't think they deliberately did not do it. I think they probably had some failed pieces, but LeBron had some guys with him.
But to your point about how Jordan also transcended the game, LeBron did that too. Like he got to the point where he realized if he wasn't going to do anything, his legacy could never reach Jordan. So he said, "I'm going to go out to Miami and I'm going to go start these super teams." And because he started that, other teams tried to do similar things. Even the Lakers, they tried to do something like that with Steve Nash and Dwight Howard. It didn't work. He was the first one to start that because the whole idea was his team did not put anything around him. But Jordan did have a super team. He had a great coach, which LeBron never had a great coach. He had Scottie Pippen and an all-star. He had role players, and back then, role players were kind of the whole point of the whole league. You didn't have this thing where nowadays you can guard all 5 positions. You're a small forward, but really you can play at the front court, in the back court. You can do a bunch of things. Like LeBron was basically Jordan plus Dennis Rodman and a little bit of Steve Kerr. He had like a little bit of everything in him.
So now, so you just said LeBron felt he needed to do something, right, to get his name out there, to get some chips, so he can get in that category, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that would go back to my point: is Jordan being the greatest, right? Because who put that pressure on him to say, "This is where you're trying to get to"? So LeBron was thinking about that. If he's thinking about his legacy and he wants to be in that conversation, he knows that he has to match what Jordan is doing. And in order for him to do that, he had to get that mentality, well, I got to go over here because I at least got to get some chips under my belt and then try to figure it out. But I need to get some chips immediately because this clock is ticking. And ultimately, Michael Jordan is the one to put that pressure on him to even realize or understand that he had to do that.
But that's also how history works. You saw in the Jordan documentary, Jordan, the reason why he wanted to play a 3rd season and not retire was because of Magic and Bird. They never won 3 straight in a row. And that keeps going back onto history. So eventually, like Kobe was pressured to get 6. LeBron's going to be pressured to do that. Durant's going to be pressured to win in one place, but then win in another to show that it wasn't the Warriors. It's all for everybody. So it's all history, of course, is going to be pushing you to do something, to do what's better than what's currently. You're always trying to break the records.
Right.
Hold on, real quick. Boston wasn't a super team?
Boston started part of the reason why LeBron
Boston
went
kind of started the super team. Right there. Boston was the first, and to be honest, if you look at it, I mean, Lakers low-key had with, you can say Ron Artest was the Dennis Rodman of LA.
Real quick, man. Which Boston team? What era are we talking?
Paul Pierce.
We talking Paul Pierce, KG Ray Allen. Rondo.
Okay, because if you look at Boston in the 80s was a super team too.
I don't, the 80s is
because Paris and Johnson weren't drafted by the Celtics.
Right, but I'm saying if you there were super teams back then, but super teams, there was always one superstar back then. It was Magic, it was Bird, it was Jordan, it was Hakeem, it was Shaq. You know what I mean? Like, truly, I would say, the Magic had a real super team back then. They had Hardaway, they had Shaq, they had Horace Grant,
Nick Anderson.
They was deep. You know what I mean? Not really every other team. Charles Barkley. It was just Charles Barkley. So, but the newer generation, for people to say, "Oh well, LeBron went to Miami and created a super team." LeBron wanted to play with his home. For real, for the super team was when KG was like, "I'm not winning on the West. I can't win in the West. I can't beat Tim Duncan is better than me over here. Paul Gasol and Kobe is murking me on this side. I can't compete, so I'm gonna go over here." Seattle could have been nice if Ray Allen would have stayed. Ray Allen, KD, Westbrook. It eventually would have been the Thunder, but so that was a super team in itself. So Bron, all right, I'm seeing 3 superstars on one team. All these dudes is all-stars right here. Mm-hmm. It's 4 all-stars on this team. And let me go play instead of trying to recruit people from all different places. Let me go somewhere with people I know. I know this guy. I know Wade. That's my boat brother. I know Chris Bosh. Tried to get CP. And that didn't work.
All right. Well, hey, listen, we're going to try to get Lonnie on here. Lonnie's the last head that we're going to get on this subject. So, Lonnie, what you got, Jordan or LeBron?
As in the GOAT debate, I'm taking LeBron. I'm taking LeBron over Jordan. Statistically, the numbers are there. The only thing that he doesn't have is rings, and when it comes down to the end of the day, is, what I'm saying, it's rings is a team thing. But individual stats, LeBron James, he has outdone Michael Jordan. He's outdone Kobe. You know what I'm saying? So I think everybody's always looking at it from a ring perspective. But like everybody else said, if we're looking at it from a ring perspective, then, Bill Russell is the true GOAT then.
Okay, then what about Kareem, if we're talking about stats?
Is Kareem top 10 or top 5 in everything?
Damn near.
Scoring.
Damn near ain't enough. Brian,
I mean, he's a center.
LeBron James is top 10.
I mean, Kareem's 1 though.
And what, points, right?
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure
points and rebounds, I think. Yeah, points and rebounds.
But he's a center, so he's not supposed to assist.
And that's because of the generation.
Because of the position.
But I mean,
look, I don't know if you can go off of points, right? Because if we go to the NFL, right, kickers are high in points, right? Then do they become the greatest player of all time because of the points? So I don't know if we can look at stats. I think it definitely is looking at the overall impact and effect that they have on the game.
Gameplay.
Exactly.
It's also hard to say somebody was better because of that.
So it looked like Coach Charles put up like Jordan was more of a closer than LeBron.
I mean, can you guys agree with that, or did LeBron? To B's point though, LeBron, he read the floor. He said, "Hey, listen, I may not have the shot.
True.
I'm gonna find somebody else who's gonna hit the shot."
Right, because
he didn't say I didn't have to put that on my shoulder.
If you look at stats, what I mean, that's like saying, oh yeah, Kobe was a better closer than Bron. But if you look at stats, Kobe was what, 30%, high 20% in the percentile of actually finishing when they came in the fourth quarter. Yeah, he was going to get his. Kobe was going to get a bucket, but he wasn't super efficient when it came to that. Bron, 44% from the field when he closed it.
Then it's hard to measure intangibles, right?
Yeah.
But then if you look at Jordan's going to put that weight on himself. LeBron's gonna pass it off. Some people see that as a weakness. You the big dog. You supposed to go make it happen. You supposed to take that last shot. I get it. I get
like,
team ball.
It could be like
I get all of those things, but yeah, it's and then I think it goes back to it's still generational.
Coach Charles is upset, Coach. I don't know what's going on, but he's upset. He's upset. I mean, if we talking points, I mean, listen, we talking points. And yeah, Karl Malone. Why don't we put him in here? Listen, it's not just about points. It's not just about points. We talking all types of statistical categories that we can go off of. But I mean, Coach, you outnumbered here. Why is everybody from the new generation dogging on you for thinking Jordan the GOAT?
I don't know if they're necessarily dogging on me. I think because they see LeBron, right? I see it. I can touch it. I can play 2K and LeBron's on there. LeBron's all over TV. He has this impact, social media. I think all of those things play a role, right? Just like when I was a youngin', I would probably say Jordan still, and then somebody that was older than me may go with Isaiah Thomas or Magic Johnson, right? So I think it's generational. I don't think you could be wrong because, like we talked about before, there's so many different factors that go into how the game is played by each generation. Can you hand check? Can you not hand check? I mean, I'm sure all you guys have seen the games, the old games that come on when these cats get to fighting and they just break the fight up and keep playing. But now in the NBA, if somebody run through and you chuck them as they come in through the lane, now you're getting teed or thrown out of the game. So I think all of those things factor in. So I think the older generation or my generation is looking at it from a standpoint of it was more physical, which made it tougher to get these accomplishments or to get these chips, to get these scoring titles, to play through what they had to play through versus where you guys looking at it now saying, yeah, skill-wise, LeBron is better than Jordan. LeBron is bigger than Jordan. He's faster than Jordan, more athletic than Jordan. So why wouldn't we want to say, or why wouldn't, I say that that's the greatest player of all times? And stats-wise, right? Stats, LeBron is going to be there. LeBron is going to have those records. He's going to have those records. But I think people go back and say, well, could those same records be obtained? Could he obtain those same records playing in a more physical NBA?
I mean, you can't say no, right? They was talking about Bron being a tight end in the NFL. He got the body of a tight end. Jordan was going against plumbers and car salesmen.
Right. So listen, so here's another point, right? How many cats have come into the league and supposedly been the next Jordan?
One.
Jordan's a comparison. No, it's been more than one.
Cole.
It's been more than one. You had Harold Miner. You had Grant Hill. That was the symbol, right? Everybody compared everybody to Jordan. I don't hear cats talking about this is going to be the next LeBron.
Huh? What are you talking about?
Who have you said this?
What he say?
What young guy is coming to the league and said this is the next LeBron?
Zion Williamson. Ben Simmons.
They literally did in the NBA comparison.
That's like the whole comparison
Ben Simmons
when they were drafting him. Ben Simmons too was another one before.
And it's the crazy thing. It's so
kind of died down.
It's so just as hard as it is to be, Michael Jordan. It's just as hard to be LeBron because before Zion there was Ben Simmons. 6'8" point guard. You compare him to Magic Johnson. Yeah, coach. It's a reach.
I mean, Dave, but listen.
I'm not going.
This is a good point right here. Now we're talking about mentality when we talk about Jordan LeBron. I can't get over the fact that he lost to Dirk Nowitzki and Jason Kidd.
This is the only thing.
I can't.
This is the only argument that I got against LeBron right
it's
here.
Tough.
He folded in Dallas.
That shouldn't have happened. To be honest, that shouldn't have happened.
He folded in Dallas.
Bro, that Dallas team swept the Lakers, bro.
San Antonio.
What about San Antonio?
San Antonio had a better bench than Miami.
But you got the big three.
That Dallas team is underrated, bro.
San Antonio don't get as much love as they really do. San Antonio don't get as much love as they need to.
Pull up the stats, and the stats say different. That team was a pretty good team the year they beat LeBron in them, bro.
So the following year, they what did they lose the following year when LeBron beat them?
Right. I personally think like the Dallas, like that right there, that Dallas series.
And they was on a run that year. That was a run of their life.
That's just
playoffs.
What about this one right here? We got Jordan learned how to win. Jordan learned how to win at UNC by winning the national championship. LeBron had to learn how to win from Wade and Pat Riley. This might be a reach. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that is a big reach because Michael Jordan wasn't winning anything until he got one Scottie Pippen when he was drafted, and they still didn't win his rookie year. Then they went and got the greatest coach of all time, Phil Jackson. That's when they started winning, and that's when the Bulls started coming together and being a better team with Dennis Rodman. It wasn't when he was at UNC, bro. That's college. We're not talking about college because LeBron didn't have the opportunity, or he skipped past the opportunity to go play in the NBA. We can't use that comparison when we're talking about one person learned how to win versus the other. That's an invalid argument.
No, I think that is a valid point because we're talking about mentality. We're talking about what's going to push me over the top. What do I have to do to be better? How do I figure this thing out? It's not saying that you came in and you automatically started winning because you had the mentality, but I think this point is making I have the mentality now to work harder, to understand what I need to do, to figure this thing out. Where LeBron was, I'm all talent. LeBron hadn't won at that level. LeBron hadn't won at any level. Right? So this is about who you surround yourself with, right? Because that's also the same reason why they put vets on these teams, right?
What did he say?
I said this is also the same reason why they put vets, like Vince Carter. Vince Carter probably should have been out of the league. It's not like he's tearing the league up, but he's there to be a locker room guy to help mentor the young guys. And I think this point right here is just saying you've got that mentality. I agree. You got to know what you got to do.
I agree, but you can't really say he learned how to win in UNC. He learned how to win from getting beat up by Detroit for a couple of years. Because I mean, Mike wasn't even in the weight room before he started playing the Bad Boys. Or I'm only going off of I was born in '98, so it wasn't like I was born after the NBA season in '98. So it wasn't like my dad had me listening to games as a baby or nothing like that. Like I ain't really get to see Jordan until he was on the Wizards. Like I didn't know Michael Jordan until I was an AI fan. But from what I'm reading, what I'm looking at, what I see, it's like you wasn't winning then. And you got into the weight room. This is what he told us. He actually had to get into the weight room and get bigger.
Right.
So
because they changed the game. That's another point. They changed the game for this guy.
Changed the game?
Yes. The Jordan rules.
Yeah, he did change the game.
I'm saying Detroit changed the game, so that's more impact on the league.
I mean, you saw players literally smoking and drinking before, during, and after the game. Like, the only thing you see LeBron doing is like red wine, which is apparently like really good for you after a game. Like, he doesn't do anything bad. Like, the technology is definitely
class.
What y'all think about this one right here, man? Phil Jackson not being the greatest coach ever. Coach, you've been a coach for a while now. You understand what it takes to be a good coach. You understand what it looks like to be a bad coach as far as seeing other coaches. You've seen bad coaching. I know you have. Who are you taking, Phil Jackson or Coach Pop?
I mean, we was in San Antonio, right? So we seen how Pop got down. But I think a lot of this, so we got a lot of good players or good coaches that don't have good players. So both of these guys have had the benefit of having all-star players that they're coaching, which makes the game a whole lot easier. Now, is that taking away anything from them? I don't know if you could say one coach is better than the other, right?
That's true.
Because I believe with this does go off the court. This goes off the court as far as how you keeping your locker room together, how you keeping your guys motivated to come play. I think there's a lot of different factors that go into this. Now, you know, the easy thing to do is just go off of straight winning percentage or whatever the case may be. But I think it's a lot of intangibles. What?
Your son's dogging you right now.
Yeah. Can we block him? But yeah. So I mean that's just. I think that's you know, one of those things, man. It's hard. It's hard to say whose system is going to work. Your system is only going to work based on your players. Now, if you're changing your system to meet your players, then yeah, that's a big deal. But if people are adapting to your system, that's also a big deal. We seen Phil Jackson use the same offense, 2 different organizations. Right? Pop turned it around.
Think about it too, Coach.
Pop got lucky. He got Tim Duncan that one year that still had him going with David Robinson. So
that's true. That's true. I mean, they argue with Pop because they think that Phil Jackson was basically handed championships because he was given a prime Jordan, a prime Pippen, and then right after that he was given a prime Kobe and not really prime Kobe, but a good Kobe and a prime Shaq. I mean, what do you got to say about that? Given like you're giving great players, do coaches still get the credit for those championships or what?
Right. So I mean, even look how Phil Jackson dealt with Dennis Rodman.
Yeah,
he knew what buttons to push. He knew how do I get the most out of you as a player.
Podcast and shit. Probably in like the next hour and a half, maybe we doing a little Jordan.
You're
on the phone. All right, say what you're saying again, Coach. Sorry about that.
No, all good, man. I just said, look how Phil Jackson dealt with Dennis Rodman. Right. So again, we don't know how many other coaches deal with that. He knew what it was going to take to get Dennis Rodman to where he needed to be. Right. So if that means he need to go take a little vacation, go do you, Dennis.
That's true.
And ultimately he gambled and it worked out for him.
All right, Drew, you got anything? Los, you got anything on the coaches here? Coach Pop versus Coach Phil Jackson. Los, we'll start with you.
Yeah, sure. I think it's kind of hard to judge on, like, you know, the coaches. I feel like at the end of the day, the results. I feel like what your coach is saying, like that. Coaches really have a big play off the court. Obviously on the court as well with the strategies and plays and, like, you know, the team dynamics and all that stuff. But I feel like that's mainly more like the work that's been done off the court that reflects on the court. And I guess the on the court is more of like the teamwork of the players and how well they develop their teammates based on their advice from their coach and the leadership. So I feel like it's kind of hard to judge like who's a better coach because of that. But I mean, I guess you can say the results. Like, you know, Phil had, you know, championships. Pop had championships. Pop, I think, he got more wins now. I believe. I'm not sure. So it's like you can go back and forth like with either conversation. I think it's just pretty much based on reference. Like, you know, who would you prefer? What system you prefer better? What system you think works better for this or for against any team or whatever? So I believe personally, I say Pop, but because I feel like he's more like an adapter. I feel like he'll try to adapt to whatever. I feel like Phil is more like I have my system, I know it works, and we can make you guys make it work. So I like a person that can adapt. I feel like Phil could too, but I personally would pick Pop also more because I see him more. I guess seeing what the players does more. Personally, I say Pop.
They also had 2 different coaching styles. They had 2 different coaching styles. I mean, Coach Phil, he gonna let if the other team's on a 10-0 run, he gonna let y'all play. He's not calling a timeout. Man. Compared to Coach Pop gonna rip somebody up right in the middle of the camera, right in the middle of the floor. Man. So they definitely have different.
Bad dribble with the left dribble with the left hand at the right. Oh,
get out of here. Get out of here. Drew, what you got?
I seen a message pop up from Coach Charles, which I thought was a good point as well. Building a team. Pop is maybe better at building a team because he has that system where he can plug and play.
Right. Anybody can drive in it.
Exactly.
Drew, what you got?
I'm gonna have to disagree. with Los on this one. I think actually Phil Jackson was better at adapting because he had to deal with Dennis Rodman. He had to deal with Michael Jordan, and all of his like retire once, retire again, the whole like last dance of like the whole GM organization didn't want him. MJ was smoking and partying. You got Scotty crying about not playing and stuff. You got the foreign guy. You got people fighting in practice. He did all this Zen Buddhism stuff to try to get everybody together on the same page. Even Shaq and Kobe did have to do their beef and stuff. And he was kind of the idea of it doesn't matter. We all have the same mindset to win. Let's try to get on the same page and do that. I do agree with Popovich being probably a better developer of players. He can kind of take that late first round talent, make them a good player, plug them in. Obviously, they're both great coaches, so it's really hard to nitpick when they've won championships and are in this conversation. But that's what I got.
As a coach, this comment right here says because you have great players doesn't mean you can win with great players. Do you think that is true, or do you think if you have great players, that you're expected basically to win? Like there's nothing else that matters there. Do you think this is true?
Yeah, I think it's 100% true, right? Because if you have great players, then the expectation level goes up 1,000%. And then based on the expectation level going up, your stress level goes up or your execution. So now there's minimal room for error or mistake, because now if you lose a game that you should have won, everybody's questioning what's going on over there, right? So you still have to bring everybody in, and there still has to be that piece like Phil does, right? Like my man just said, Phil was bringing everybody in when all that craziness was going on. He was still getting everybody to focus in when it was game time. And I think that's a tremendous amount of pressure to get that done. And you really got to know your players, and you really got to trust them. But you got to build that chemistry for them.
Sure, I definitely agree. I've seen bad coaches with great players. I've seen it firsthand. It's ugly. So you got to know. Yeah, I think that was the case with that Maverick series. Was that Eric Spoelstra wasn't ready for that. He wasn't ready to have Bron, D Wade, and Chris Bosh at that level, and you could tell. He just wasn't ready for it.
That's right. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Look, we all thought that Pat Riley was coming back off the bench, right?
And they brought in the video coordinator. Gimme Pop. Ethan says, "Gimme Pop." He was proven to make the playoffs with teams that were counted out. That is true. I mean, he's built a system in which his teams they've looked bad on raw paper, but he's able to bring them up. Let's see. My dad also says the Raptors coach. I want to say who is that? What's the Raptors coach?
Nick Nurse.
Why? Nick Nurse. Yeah, D-League champion and now NBA champion. He's winning without Kawhi. Is that good coaching? Or is that a system when we say that was built by
winning, right? But winning at what level, right? So being in the East kind of takes away from that. So if you still got where are they at in the East?
They're top 5, but
yeah, I would say top 5, right? But then you still got what is that? Philly, Milwaukee. You still got teams that's ahead, so they're keeping a winning record. But in comparison to playing in the East, is that really a point that you can make?
Shit.
Yeah, I see it. B, what do you think about Phil Jackson versus Coach Pop, real quick?
I'm gonna go with Coach Pop, just off the strength that like everybody was saying, he was winning without nobody on his team. We players that you'll never see, make it to the playoffs. Pop was getting them there. One thing I do got, Coach Jackson does have over Coach Pop though is he had the triangle offense work for how many years? Everybody knew it was the triangle offense. Right. So when you can run the same offense on everybody, and they know exactly what's coming, they know the ball is going to go post high post, then Kobe gonna get it over here and then they gonna shoot it. Mike gonna get it over here and then he gonna shoot it, or it's gonna go to the middle and somebody gonna cut to the basket and be wide open. And you could do that from 90, whenever to 2000 and when was the last Lakers championship?
Well, let me ask you. Let me throw this point in there then. So what about coach that passed away today, Jerry Sloan? Everybody knew the pick and roll,
right?
So then does that make him a great coach, an elite coach?
But that's why I would choose Pop over Phil, just because that's what I was given. That's what I was given Coach Jackson over Pop, was the fact that I'm running the same play and beating you with these great players every time, and y'all don't got no answer for it. Kobe, boom. But we see soon as Phil lost Kobe and start losing players right before he left out of LA, it was a shit show for real. If you really look at it, like there was no answers. Pop didn't want. Phil didn't want to be there, and I think that's why after Kobe, the injuries, and then all Coach Jackson was having was all these trash role players. I think that's what made him not want to coach no more. I think he could, if New York would have got some good players and LA would have been good before you left, I think Coach Jackson would have coached in New York. But I got Pop over Coach Jackson for sure.
So I think it could possibly be a draw from the sense of, like we pointed out, you can having the coach talent, right, and with that expectation to win, and then having to develop players and bring them into your system and still be successful.
Fair enough. All right, guys, we got time for probably a couple more topics. I'm gonna put a banner up for our live streamers to put up their statements on this next topic. But Coach, I'm gonna give you the floor on this one. Do you have any unpopular opinions about the NBA? So, my unpopular opinion was that Damian Lillard is the best point guard in the NBA. That was my unpopular opinion. I said it based off the fact that while Steph is injured, yes, I understand Steph. If he's healthy, he's the best point guard in the NBA. But I think Dame has proven his point that he's a true point guard in the sense that he can facilitate and score. But he's a winner. Even though he's not winning championships, I just think if you want to compare him to Westbrook, it's not fair because Westbrook's stats are inflated. He forces rebounds. He forces assists. And then on top of that, I think Dame's a better teammate as well. So do you have any you can respond to that, but do you have any unpopular opinions about the NBA? Things that you don't think we would all agree on?
I think the NBA is way harder than what the general population sees or knows. I think
you think that it's harder in the sense of what?
To stay there, to be successful, right? So we look at a guy, and because he's on the bench and he's not getting a lot of playing time, what do we call him? A bum.
A bum,
right?
Yeah, you scrub.
Right. But that guy literally is a dog, is a killer. And I think we kind of take that for granted, being fans. To understand the work that has to go into it, right? To understand, so when and to go back to look at LeBron and realize what this guy is doing, you can't say LeBron's not a good player. It's just a matter of because he is that talented because the NBA is that hard.
You know what though, Coach? I think with where that gets lost in the sauce is when you talk to people who have not competed and actually played basketball on a higher level. Like for me, I stopped right before I went and played college basketball. I didn't play college basketball, but I got a lot of homeboys that played college ball. And I'm not talking not D1 neither. I'm talking JUCO, D3. And you talk to anybody that watch D1 basketball players, they look and they say oh yeah, this is where you want to be if you want to be a great basketball player. You're not a good basketball player because you didn't go D1.
Right.
But then you take one of these JUCO guys and you send them to a regular gym, and we running fives regularly, and they frying everybody.
Right.
Everybody's getting a regular hooper that's never seen a lick of college basketball or not. They're just not that they're average players.
Yeah.
A JUCO college player is looking like D1 to these regular fat dudes that's just in the gym after they had Burger King on the way to the gym. We're like, so, and they Drew laughing, but like I'm I joke about a lot of stuff, but like how I look at it is like if you never really like seen like some of these JUCO guys really hoop, or like D3 guys really go at it, then you'll never know like how difficult it is to be in the NBA. Because this dudes that's in JUCO,
right?
Keep my height and taller, obviously, but that's giving anybody on a regular day a bucket in a sleep. So
I think we all fall into that. We all fall into that sometime as we're sitting there watching the game, right? Oh, he should have shot it. Oh, this dude can't hit a shot to save his life. Oh, why did he turn the ball over with? But we just have to go back and really think about it. It's a lot harder to be in the league than what we realize all the time. I'll just put it that way.
I agree.
So, Coach, you basically saying that the worst player on the Bucks team right now, which is probably arguably we'll go with Matthew Dellavedova. I think that's a great person to start with here. You think Matthew Dellavedova
is the person in the NBA right now is Tony Snell. And he's going to him on a regular basis and giving everybody a bucket.
Well, you think they'll come into the base gym and bust up anybody in the base gym?
Yes.
I agree.
Hands down. Even the best player on the best base team. You think that Matthew Dellavedova
I agree.
will give him a problem?
Yes.
Well, look, if he doesn't give him a problem by scoring, he's going to facilitate so well and set players up. He's going to make the game easier. Nick, you're a point guard. Other guys, I'm sure if you don't play point, you played with some great point guards that made the game so much easier for you. Where all you had to do was run and cut, and that they were going to find you with the ball, or they would set something up.
Low snow.
You see what I mean? So if Dellavedova isn't doing that piece, he's gonna take it from that aspect.
A prime example of that right there when they had Kyrie on the one podcast and they asked him who Kyrie got his ass bust by. Kyrie didn't say no Creighton, Russell Westbrook. He said Jose Calderon.
Oh yeah,
he did say that. I do remember that.
And
okay, so
Drew,
he
didn't say, "Oh, Jose gave me 27," and he said, "My man just was cutting and passing the ball the whole game, and I couldn't do nothing about it."
The whole game.
So, Drew, what do you think about that statement, though, that even the worst players in the league will still give, not regular basketball players, but just they're not as bad as we think that they are? What do you think about that?
100%. Like, you see players translate from college, and they are going and taking these teams to the finals in March Madness, and then they're just nobodies in the NBA, as we call them, nobodies, right?
Right, yeah.
So like you see players like Frank Kaminsky and like Tyler Hansbrough and like all these guys that are winning championships. They're franchise players. I say franchise players, but like college teams, right? And then there's only a few that even get in there. And I went to A&M, so like Alex Caruso, is one of these like great players for us. And he goes in the NBA, and now, he does make these highlight reels just because he's like the last man on the bench for the Lakers, and he's this white guy slamming it and stuff. But like, I think that's the whole point is you go put Alex Caruso back in college, and yeah, he might not be scoring and dunking on people, but he's going to drive. The defense is going to collapse, and he's going to facilitate a lot better. Like, these guys that are 13th on the bench, you got to put it into perspective, especially about one of the comments about overseas. Like, it's literally the best players in the world. We're talking about the best 300 players in the world, and 100% they can they'll hoop on anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I seen it firsthand, man. Nick, you know what it's like in Korea, man. I hate when people say, "Oh, y'all, you was in Korea, so you didn't have no competition." I seen some guys over there that'll come over here and get tears on everybody's faces.
Problem. All right, gentlemen, we got our first unpopular opinion from. I don't know if this is unpopular because I don't know. I agree with this, but my dad says Russell Westbrook and James Harden have no defense. Harden will never win a championship, especially with an offensive-minded coach like Mike D'Antoni. Do you guys agree or disagree with this? We'll start with.
I agree only because of the fact of the other teams. I don't think it's because of their system. I think their system will work to get wins in general. I just think the competition is too high for these two to get a championship, specifically with this team.
Hey, man, Rockets had their chance, and Chris Paul got injured. So I don't know who paying Chris Paul to get injured every time it's supposed to be, it's supposed to be time to go to the finals. And Chris Paul, my favorite player of all time. Like, that's the point guard himself. That's who I wanted to be like when I was trying to go to the NBA. So, I got the utmost respect for CP3, but somebody giving this man millions of dollars. I don't know if it's Safe Auto or if it's
Geico, something like that.
Well, I don't know who talking to this man over in them insurance companies telling this man
State Farm date.
Yeah, I think State Farm giving this man a bag a little too hefty. Like,
somebody
go ahead and tear your ACL real quick before you go to the finals. That way you get this money. Because
how much?
Coach, what do you think about this?
I agree. 100%. Yeah, playoff time, the game slows down. Right? And for whatever reason, Harden
speed up.
Harden can't deliver. He hasn't shown that he can deliver. And then coming out of the West, you got to have somebody to throw it into in the post or to get some action out of the post. And everything right now is perimeter.
That's why, and even when people say it's not a big man game no more, when it's playoff time, it's a big man game.
It's deep. It's defensive time, really.
It's a possession game.
Yeah.
Roy Hibbert,
it's all about
Roy Hibbert was giving Bron problems.
Yeah.
For real.
Roy Hibbert was that 1 year wonder, boy.
For real. Yeah. He was giving Bron problems.
Cold that year. I thought it was cold.
All right. Next one. I got Drew on this one first. We got Miles coming in. I don't agree with this one at all, but
no.
Klay Thompson, the best two guard in the league. No. Drew, what you think?
No, I mean, Klay, he's a great player. He can definitely defend really well, especially on the Warriors. He kind of takes that defensive. He takes the best player on offense always.
Right.
But the best two guard in the league, like, he's not a creator on offense. He is more of an off-ball type guy. The system really good, and there's just I'd take a handful of guys over him. Now he's great. I think like he's just not the best two guard. There's just that's it. I think
you got a top five though.
It's just simple.
So
he'll crack my top five, but he's not the best. Coach, what you got?
Because Bradley Beal is a two guard, right?
Yeah, and he's definitely above Klay Thompson.
Paul George?
He's a three.
Nah.
Well, what's Kawhi?
Kawhi's a three.
Well, Paul
you talking
George?
About if they're both on the court the same? Yeah, Paul George is a two.
So then, I just look at that.
Kawhi go to the four.
Klay can't get his own shot. I think that was a comment that was brought up earlier as well. Klay is a straight system guy.
Yeah. So do you have him in your top five shooting guards, Coach?
Klay Thompson?
Yeah, think about the shooting guards. We'll think about them real quick. I mean, James Harden, Victor Oladipo, Bradley Beal, CJ McCollum. We got Devin Booker, Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday,
Jimmy Butler.
Klay crack top five?
Nah, Klay not top five.
When healthy though, y'all cannot act like this man will not drive 60 or 50 or 40 from doing this.
He can give you 60 and clamp you up there.
Every time, like he don't gotta do this. They all gotta know. Come off the screen, do something, create or something. All they gotta do is this, man.
I think Clay gets is not going to get the benefit of the doubt because of who he plays with.
Yeah, that's a good point too.
That's true.
That's a good point too.
And maybe not this year because I don't know who's especially when KD was there.
Yeah, for sure. He wasn't getting the credit at all. Lonnie says Clay is top 3. That's a very forced.
I actually
yeah.
I don't know. That's tough.
Let's talk about it. Let's get our top 5.
James. I think James is
one
right now.
James
one.
Bradley Beal.
I'm taking Bradley Beal 2. And then 3. Oh man, I'm taking D Book.
Me too.
Yeah,
I'm taking. We had an argument earlier, Coach. D Book can play.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
I ain't gonna say it.
Lowe's taking CJ McCollum, but that's because he do drugs.
4, I'm not taking CJ McCollum. I'm taking Jimmy Butler.
You know, this is my thing. This was not fair neither. I have to say this. For some reason, 2 guards. It's like it seems like to me. This is to me. It seems like 2 guards.
Are they all even?
Are not obligated to play defense. Because right now, some of the best
anymore.
Some of the best scorers in the league are 2 guards. But if you talk about most of these best scorers, every time at the end of that conversation is, oh, well, they don't play defense. Bradley Beal will give you 50. Don't play defense.
Yeah, that's true. That's to Miles.
I think the only defensive 2 guard really is Jimmy Butler, and then I guess you say PG, but he's a 3, a 2.
And Clay, Clay played defense too.
Yeah, Clay. Right, but I'll give Clay that. Other than Clay, PG, and Jimmy Butler, all of the best 2 guards are like they're not obligated to play defense because they such prolific scorers.
I feel like Drew is truly underrated because he's a really great defender. And can do a lot of stuff on offense as well.
Drew Holiday is a 1.
Yeah, he's a true point guard. He just has to play the 2 because of Zoe.
Right.
Okay. But I feel like he always played the 2 though for some reason. I'm not tripping.
Yeah, he did. He has to. Yeah,
he was the point guard in Philly.
Yeah. All right. Next one we got my dad. He says if LeBron doesn't win the championship this year, it's over for him. No more championships, period, because the Warriors are coming back next year fully loaded, especially with a number 1.
Fully loaded with what?
Steph, Clay. They got Andrew Wiggins, who I'm not going to say Andrew Wiggins is a certified scrub, but he's better than what they had. Draymond, and then they're going to get it. Listen, and then the Warriors top 5 pick. Do you think that next year the Warriors are the team to beat? Drew,
I think they're contenders for sure.
I think the Bucks are the team that's gonna surpass the LeBron legacy as like the team to beat. The Warriors will be in the conversation, but I think right now the Bucks, and then wherever Kawhi kind of takes his story to, could maybe be another place to be a contender for. But right now, I got the Bucks being the team to beat.
Okay.
Next year?
Yeah, I mean, because they got the East locked down. And so I think that they are going to not only be able to give the Warriors some stuff next year, but like they have that guaranteed spot basically.
What about Brooklyn?
I just haven't seen Kyrie play together yet. I mean, if they're both healthy, Kyrie also lately has been injury prone.
I think KD by himself is a problem.
I still got him.
Coach, what do you think about this? First of all, let's answer the first part of this question. Do you think there's no more championships for LeBron after this year?
No, I think he still will win. He'll win another one, maybe 2.
Okay, definitely. and then the next part about it. Do you think the Warriors come back next year and they're the team to beat with this top 5 draft pick?
No. I would say no. I don't know. I mean, I guess we have to look at the draft class to see what's coming out, but I don't see that being an immediate impact. They'll be able to step in and have that type of impact and help them win the championship. No. And Andrew Wiggins he's Harrison Barnes.
Part 2.
Yeah. Sometimes he's on, sometimes he's not. So it depends on where he's locked in at, right? But I would,
Damn.
yeah. So I don't think the Warriors are in contention next year.
Okay. All right. Los B, you got anything on this one? You think it's over for LeBron, or you think you got a couple more in him?
Oh, me, man, come on now. That's silly, dog. Like that's real silly, man. Like at the end of the day, it's still the GOAT, man. Like don't sleep. You know what I mean? Yeah, he getting a little old, but he got a top 5 player on his team. All he got to do is pass the torch a little bit. You know what I mean? AD got a lot of learning to do. We seen that. We thought AD was that guy because, he was playing on a trash team. AD still got a lot more improving to do offensively, as in, the same killer mindset that y'all yell at LeBron about. We seen AD fold a little bit. Let me see. Golden State, I ain't really,
you think they come back? You think they're the team to beat next year, or do you got the Clippers? You got the Bucks? Who you got? Or you still got LA?
I definitely think, the Clippers is going to be interesting to watch next year. The Bucks, they ain't proved nothing yet. They lost. I got Miami being the team of the West next year.
The East.
East, my bad. I got Miami being the team of the East next year. If you look at it, Miami was up in the series against
they were up.
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
So,
in the East next year, I think it's Brooklyn. You can't bet against KD.
KD is
you can't.
KD is my guy. I'm slowly becoming less of a Kyrie Irving fan. The more and more I watch him play and hear how he act, because he act like a broad to me. But you know what I mean, like, to say Bron not about to be in the playoff, what? All he got to do is that. That's 2-3 teams he got to get out the way, and he's good.
So I think Denver will give Golden State a run.
Yeah, Denver's up and coming.
A lot of teams that's giving Golden State a run.
Yeah,
Lonnie says, "What about the Celtics? Do you guys think the Celtics are a team to beat next year?"
Yeah, I think they got to make it great.
They definitely. The Celtics need a good veteran.
Gordon,
they need a good.
They're forming good though.
Good veteran on their team.
I agree.
Jason Tatum is a problem.
Right, they got good pieces. Something's not clicking with that team.
I think, honestly, Coach,
it's something little though. I feel like they're just like a piece away.
They need somebody that's going to be like, this is how you need to play and how you need to go about it. Not even in the regular season, more so like when the playoffs come around.
Playoffs time, because they're amazing. Like during the regular season, they're still showing out.
They just
they're going crazy. Like everybody, yeah. I feel like they're like a piece away from a playoff heavy team. Like a heavy playoff team, like giving Bucks contenders.
I think they need a veteran big and maybe a backup guard. They definitely don't got they got a lot of guards in the G League for them right now. A lot of potential nice backup guards.
Yeah, to me, it's something. I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it because I think they have good players, good coaching. Good role players. I think they have a good team, but it's something that's preventing them from getting over the top.
Yeah, it's something. I don't know what it is. Jason Tatum's a problem, though, Coach. I don't know if you've seen it. I don't know if you've seen it.
All right, bet I'm not gonna.
Kemba Walker's a problem.
No, he is. He fits that team perfectly too.
Don't sleep on Jaylen Brown. He's very underrated.
Jaylen Brown,
he's
right?
Crazy for numbers.
Maybe it's what's my man that came from Utah?
Gordon Hayward. I thought that was the wrong move for him.
But he's still performing well. I just don't know. I feel like it's a big. Maybe I feel like they're like a big away.
I just don't think Gordon Hayward's a good fit for that team. I don't know. They have too many ball dominant scoring wings. It's just
what's their identity?
Right. I don't know. I think Jason Tatum's going to be that guy, but they are missing something. Last topic, gentlemen, before we move on. It's going to be Kyrie Irving. Lonnie beat me to the point. Coach, in my opinion, and this is a very unpopular opinion, I think Kyrie is the most overrated player in the league. I think the shot that was around the world in the finals against the Warriors saved his career, and I think he messed up by leaving LeBron. I think that's where he really messed up, was that he thought he could be the guy. What do you think about Kyrie Irving? What's wrong with him? You know, there's a lot of things that's wrong with him, especially wise. But what do you think's the real problem with him?
Mentality, something mental, right? Not to say that the cat's crazy or nothing like that, but it seems like he's not comfortable, and in whatever situations, right? He hasn't been comfortable. So I don't know if it's, again, if we go back to coaching, right? How we said the coaches figured out what it was. I don't know, and I think he has some diva in him, right? And as soon as something doesn't go his way, it's like he turns something off. That's what it appears to be. Now, do I say that he's the most overrated player in the NBA? No, by no means I would say that. Kyrie's still a hell of a player. It's just a matter of him locking in and being 100% comfortable with the team.
Matter of fact, Coach, I got a quick question for you.
I think, and it may be his ego. It may be the ego that he has, and he thinks he's bigger than the game.
I think that.
So, do you think that'll play
Coach,
a role?
I got a quick question.
Oh, go ahead. Let's go ahead.
No, because we were having this discussion a while ago, and Nick was saying that he believes Kyrie is no longer amongst the top 10 point guards.
That was me. That was me.
Top 10 point guards? I think because in the last couple of years of being injured, we haven't been able to see it. But I still think he has the ability to be.
I was going to say, will you still take him out, though, like off that top 10 list?
I didn't say he didn't have the ability. I'm saying if you look at what we're considering a point guard right now. So right now we saying LeBron is a point guard. You know what I mean? We saying
when did we say that?
Huh?
No, because we're considering LeBron a point guard. He plays with two shooting guards on his team.
He's the point guard. Is Luka Doncic not the point guard on that team?
Luka Doncic is the point guard.
All right. So y'all know who started that position, right?
You gonna say Scottie Pippen?
Don't say
Scottie Pippen. Don't say
it. I ain't mad at it. I'm just saying, if we looking at,
all right, thanks, John. But that was a fun time.
if we looking at, I still say Magic Johnson. I don't care what nobody say. It was Magic. But if you really look at it, he is one of the most talented point guards in the league.
Right.
He definitely one of the most talented point guards. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is,
Larry Bird.
Look at everybody that's a point guard right now. Luka's, LeBron's, James Harden's, and a healthy John Wall. Kyrie Irving is not top 10. A healthy John Wall. Drew, I don't care about the hands on the face, man. It don't bother me. A healthy John Wall is better than Kyrie Irving. I'm saying.
Hey.
You know, it's crazy. 2 years ago, remember I was saying Kyrie was better than Steph.
Opinion. It's not for everybody.
It's very important.
That's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. You know what I mean? If you got a weak stomach, y'all the kitchen. But it is what it
is. So I think you're speaking more to positionless basketball.
No. I'm speaking to you doing everything on the court as a point guard. From the passing to the getting your teammates involved to the winning. Oh no, my fault. You getting.
I don't know. Are you okay?
What happened?
I just can't believe that
you get teammates involved
is better than Kyrie if both of them are healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. That's tough, B. That's tough.
Hey man.
Coach, your son chimed in on this one.
Huh?
That's Coach's son chimed in on this one. Kyrie's top 10. Don't disrespect my boy player. A lot of people are getting on to you, B, about this John Wall thing.
Hey man, listen. like I said, man, it's not for the faint of heart, dog. You've got a weak stomach. You know what I mean? Don't eat the food, but
long as everybody knows Dame is number 2 after Steph when healthy.
That's another.
John Wall, I don't see it. Look, the same way that people were saying, like, you know what I mean? Oh, Kyrie is like he's not. What is it? What was it? Kyrie been injured for so long, so we don't really know.
We haven't seen the best.
So
IQ.
I think
John got better IQ. I think John got better IQ.
IQ definitely got it over him.
You think John Wall got better IQ than Kyrie Irving?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying
that. I think if we talking
not like score wise,
handles, Kyrie has handles and he has shooting the ball better than John Wall, and you know they both attacking the handles and shooting the ball over. Right, handles, shooting the ball, getting your teammates involved.
You saying that John Wall has better IQ, basketball IQ, than Kyrie Irving, who was supposed to have the Mamba mentality?
Absolutely, the Mamba.
I think so. I think so too. Yes. I think John Wall got better IQ than Kyrie, man. Los. Just for a game sense of involving people and like being able to either attack and assist the way that he does.
Both at high levels. What gives Kyrie the upper hand on IQ?
I'll say this: Russell Westbrook was trying to beat John Wall, you know what I'm saying, before he took off and stuff. And the only reason why he got an MVP was because he like OD'd on the stat stuff. Like he forced it. John Wall stuff came natural because of his IQ.
They even asked. They said Russell Westbrook, why are you padding your stats on the with the rebounds and assists? He said, I shot 7 for 34. What else you want me to do?
Hey, look, there's a lot. They're firing y'all up in the comments. Yeah. I'm gonna just tell
you. Hey, man, Lonnie's fine. Listen, like I said, Drew, I hear what y'all saying. I'm not saying that. I'm not everybody. I really do hear what y'all saying. I'm not saying that.
I think Kyrie better than John Wall.
It's not a bucket. But if you adding, and this is only me adding the players that's like Coach said, positionless basketball. When it's players that's really a different position, but now because they're initializing the offense, they taking the ball up the court. That's what makes them a point guard now. And once you add them players, you take out LeBron as not being a point guard, and you take out, you know what I mean, what y'all smoking for the show. Like I'm serious though. Like if you take these players out, then for sure Kyrie is top 10. But no, if you look at this, healthy John Wall.
Okay, that's why I disagree. That's why I separate myself.
I'm gonna just say this. All right, you know what I mean? To make y'all
if we go positionless basketball, there is no point guard.
Exactly. It's
right, let's say this then. All right.
No.
All right, there go my unpopular opinion right here. Healthy John Wall is better than Kyrie. It's just simple as that.
Okay, that I disagree. See, that's where we separate. That's where we separate at. I support it a lot, but that's where I separated it.
Hey, listen, man. Y'all can take it how it is. That's where I'm gonna leave on this. You know what I mean? I'm about to go. I'm gonna leave on my take.
You gonna leave that? You gonna leave
the mic right there?
You gonna poop in the middle of the floor and walk out and not clean it up.
But before you leave, why is that?
Why is like I said? If you look at, for one, if you looking at, I'm looking at everything as a point guard. So I'm looking at the fact that Kyrie is giving his teammates problems off the court. His attitude, his relationship with his teammates. We never had a problem where John Wall had.
Okay, so now we're talking
about on the court.
How is that?
On the court.
On the court. He's a better defender.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
He's a better rebounder.
He's how
okay, but that doesn't make sense because it's the same thing with Russell Westbrook and Steph Curry. Russell Westbrook is a better, like defender, rebounder, but he's not better than.
No, let him finish.
So, I don't got a John. That's funny. a better defender, a better rebounder. He's a better playmaker. Bro, move. My bad, bro. I'm podcast better. He's a better. Go watch the highlights. He's a better playmaker. He has more IQ. Only thing Kyrie has over him is shooting and hand.
Oh my
God! I give Kyrie. Kyrie is more clutch, but even then,
and that is where we part ways with Basir Edmonds. Goodbye, B.
So that sounds like an athleticism versus a skill set.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm saying it's like Russell Westbrook versus Steph Curry, like the whole,
yeah,
little debate for that one period of time that they had when Russ got MVP.
Yeah.
Right. All right, y'all. Los and Drew, I'm gonna cut y'all out. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Me and Coach gonna finish it up here.
Hey, nice to meet y'all, fellas.
Nice to meet you, Coach.
You as well.
All right, Coach. I hope you enjoyed being on. I know we definitely enjoyed having you. You got any final words for the viewers? Any lasting comments for them?
No, man. Just I appreciate the opportunity again, man. I see what you're doing. I see what you and your partner doing, man. And you know what I'm saying? Anytime or anything I can do to help y'all out, push it, let me know.
For sure, Coach.
Yeah, just grateful, man. Proud of you, right? For all that you've accomplished and all that you're accomplishing. Setting the mark high. So keep it going, big dog.
Sure. Tell the family I said hello. Blessings to all you guys over there. You're welcome any other time. I know we have a radio podcast too, so it's just straight audio. That one goes up on Spotify. So if I ever need somebody, I can count on you.
Yeah. Just hit me, man. Hit me. You got my number. Whatever you need, let me know. You know, I'm kind of partial to the video though. You know what I'm saying? But
I feel it. Me too. I like doing the videos better too.
But whatever you need, man, let me know if I can get some. Hey, you know, I got some basketball heads that love to talk basketball as well. So if you're trying to get some more people, let me know and I'll reach out to see what we can do.
For sure. All right, Coach. Well, this is it for Fundamental Friday, May 22nd. We appreciate all you guys that tuned in. Thank you to the viewers. Make sure you follow, like, and subscribe to the channel. And we're out.
Peace.